What's the research look like around project-based learning? My name is Ryan Stoyer, and welcome to PBL Simplified for Teachers, designed to answer your PBL need-to-knows to help simplify the PBL process in your classroom. Today we're talking about research in project-based learning. And at this point, there's a ton of research and it's all thumbs up, right? Like we're getting kids deeper into content and we're ramping up the employability skills that are super, super important for our kids to have. If you look at the top reasons why millennials are being fired right now, entrepreneur.com just had this study come out. It's because they're not collaborating, they're not problem solving and thinking critically. Like these skills that PBL is really giving them, they're so important. And the research is aplenty. Like you can go to Edutopia, put in PBL research and you'll get a literature review and you can dive as deep as you want. If you look at John Hattie's work, the meta research around student achievement, if you look at those top indicators, they're all in high quality project-based learning. But what I want to talk about in the rest of this video is a quick quarter turn. Because your question isn't really, is it research-based? Your question's really, will this work in my classroom with my kids, right? Totally is. The research is important. It needs to be researched, and you need to have a great instructional model that you're starting with your zero foundation, but you want to know the boots on the ground piece. Will project-based learning work with kindergartners that can't read? Will PBL work with squirrely freshmen, right? And I can tell you now, the answer is yes, because, and I can answer that even without meeting you yet, because I've met facilitators in rural settings, suburban, urban settings, big schools, small schools, charter schools, public schools, K-12, into higher ed, and it can work. But you have to make it local to your context. It has to be boots on the ground. So how do you do that? You do that by collaborating with colleagues, with folks that are already doing this work. So that's why we think it's so important in Magnify Learning that we have 2 facilitators at every training, and they are going to be related to your track. So if you're an elementary school facilitator, you want to have an elementary school trainer there, right? You want to see their agenda. You want to see what they do with their literacy block. And if you're secondary, you want to know how AP works or how credits work with project-based learning. So you've got to learn from people that are already in the trenches doing the work. That's why we think the boots on the ground portion is so, so important. Is the research there? Absolutely it is. Is that the most important part? Probably not to you, boots on the ground educator. The most important part for you is how do we help you modify PBL and simplify the process so it works for your kids. I think the easiest way to do that is to interact with teachers, facilitators that are currently doing the work just like you want to. You go boots on the ground, and you're going to learn exponentially. You're going to absolutely love it. And once you do, you go get the research for project-based learning, then get the boots on the ground application, and you will start to engage your learners, tackle boredom, and transform your classroom.